What's going on YouTube? WestHobbiesRC. So today we are back with the crashed Goblin 380. So if you guys seen the what to look for in your crash video or after your crash, we went over and we didn't need that many parts actually. We needed a frame side, tail fin, tail boom, canopy, main blades, and a tail push rod, as well as a tail pitch slider because we did find a piece missing out of the pitch slider here. So we're going to go ahead and get all this stuff off the table and we are going to get started on the rebuild. So if you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and remember, Patreon and PayPal linked in every video description if you would like to come help support me. And thank you to every Patreon supporter and person that has donated on PayPal. Let's get started. I was about to pull the frame side off when I noticed something. This frame side is a matte carbon fiber and this frame side is a shiny carbon fiber. So it would look very weird because I only bought one frame side to have a matte frame side on one side and a shiny glossy carbon frame side on the other. So what I'm going to do is not use this frame side. So that's going to go in the parts pile and I'm going to pull it and fix it because the only damage to the frame side is there's a slight crack right here, which this doesn't matter. It's not structural here, but it's the battery tab that broke. So we're going to pull it off and we're going to fix it, and I'll show you how to do that. So let's go get this frame side off and let's fix it. We got the frame side off here and our damage is done to this little tab right here for the battery latch. So we can see it's broken here. Now you could do two things. You could pull the frame side off because only one side has the battery latch. The other side does not. So you could actually pull it off and flip the frame sides around and use the good side that has the crack on the tab for your battery latch, or with just, we're going to flip it over. And what we're going to do is we're going to push this tab into place. So we're going to look at it, try to get it as straight as we can. And once we're happy with how straight it is and what it looks like, we're going to take some thin CA and we're going to hold this down. Use some thin Bob Smith CA or whatever CA of your choice, and we're going to drip some CA right down into that crack. The CA soaks into that crack, we're going to hold it down. So now we're going to lift it up so it doesn't stick to the wood, and you can always come back with a little bit more CA and soak it into the broken spot just like that. Flip your part over, make sure it's not leaking out the other side, which it is, so wipe that off with a paper towel and let it cured. You will see that it is strong again. It's one with the carbon fiber again. So now you could go ahead, put your latch back on. It's not the prettiest, but for the battery latch, I'm not concerned about it. But technically speaking, you can repair any carbon fiber that way. If it was a big break, you could sand it down and lay some carbon on the back side and epoxy it. But for the little tab, more than enough. We got the side back on. Our pull latch works like it should. So now we are going to move on to pulling the boom and actually getting the tail casing rebuilt. So we're going to pull this apart and get the fin ready to go on, and the new slider. Tail assembled again, cleaned it all up from all the dirt, everything. Checked the bearings again. They're all perfectly smooth. New pitch slider on there. Re-greased, Loctited, and then I went ahead and these bearings on these carbon fiber are CA glued. So I had to use some debonder, get the bearing out, put it back in. Now the glue is drying, got the new fins stickers put on the fin. So now what's next is the push rod. So we got our tail push rod, metal inserts. It's 13 millimeters from the tip of the rod to where I put this black mark. So now I'm gonna go ahead, scuff these up, mix up some epoxy and get this glued up and let it dry while we finish assembling this tail and get the new boom put on. We got the new boom right there. Anytime you have a crash with an SAB model, these plastic bolts, these nylon bolts are designed to break. Now, anytime you buy a tail boom, you always get new bolts. You get your little fasteners here that have the double-sided tape. So I would highly recommend, even though this one did not break and we broke the boom back here, I would highly recommend just changing the bolt. It comes with it. Go ahead, put your new one. Keep that as a spare if you get into a pinch, but change it to a new bolt. Also, you want to CA glue the nut onto this little tray here before you put it inside the boom. Just makes your life easier. So now I'm going to go ahead and get these guys stuck on the boom and get this old boom pulled off. Pulling the boom on the 380 is very simple on all the older Goblins, really. Especially with having to get the flybarless unit off. You don't have to attach any of your wires. I did unplug my satellite, but you lift it up, unscrew your boom, it comes off. We got the new boom ready to go on. So we just got our tail casing slid all the way forward. The screws are just ran down but not tight, so we can still slide it back and tension the belt. We got our tail boom nut put in there. So now what we need to do is finish making up the push rod. So we let the glue dry, so now we got to put the ends on it and get the boom put into the mainframe. Finishing tightening up the tail boom using this little SAB tool. Has a nut driver on one side and your ball link for doing your servo connections, tail push rods, bunny ball link on the other side. So now our boom's in place. We could go ahead and bolt our icon or flat barless unit back down, but pay attention that the nut fits into there. So this also locks the nut from ever backing out and losing your tail boom. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, get those screws locked tight to get my satellite plugged back in, and then adjust my tail pitch accordingly, and we will see what this thing is looking like finished. Always remember, when setting proper tail, so we're going to set our servo at 90 degrees, and we're going to come back here and we're going to set about 2 to 4 degrees of right rudder, positive rudder for mechanical leverage against torque on the main rotor. But when you have a tail design or any design where you have to tighten your tail belt, make sure you go ahead and tighten your belt to the tightness that you want it before adjusting your tail push rod, because if we push our tail casing all the way in, we tighten the screws up, our belt's loose, we adjust our push rod. When we go to pull back our tail casing to tension our belt or pull your boom back, however you're tensioning the belt, then what's going to happen is now your push rod's not going to be back to that 2 to 4 degrees that we already set. So it is important to tighten your boom down, tighten your belt tension down, get that set, and then adjust your tail push rod. Tail is completely done, push rod set, belt is tight. So now we are last step, blades, canopy. So I decided to go with a set of Rototech Ultimate 385 main blades for this thing. Do really like Rototech blades, they feel good, they fly good, so I decided we needed blades anyways. I kind of regret not going 420 on this. The only difference would have been a boom and a belt. If we have another mishap where we break the boom, I'll probably convert it to a 420. But let's go ahead, get these blades tossed on, get the canopy on, and see what this thing looks like all finished up. And it's done. The Goblin 380 is back. All back together, it looks really good. Those Rototech Ultimate 385s look great. We got the new canopy and boom, ready to fly again. And in all honesty, I wasn't very happy with the original canopy. It had some markings in it. So now I am very happy with how it came out. Loving the color of these blades. So there you guys go. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick little video. So if you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and remember, Patreon and PayPal are linked in every video description if you'd like to help me. And thank you to every Patreon and PayPal person that has already helped. So thank you guys so much. Take care and have a great day.